The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
There was a fellow who was a very close Talmud of Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. And he used to live in a different neighborhood far away from the yeshiva. It wasn't such a good neighborhood, but he couldn't afford anything better. Years later, he managed to put together enough money and he bought an apartment much closer to the yeshiva. And he came to Shlomo Zalman Auerbach and he says, Rebbe, I get a mazel tov. He says, really, what's the mazel tov? He told him how he bought a new apartment closer to the yeshiva and he's moving in next week. So Shlomo Zalman was so excited for him. He says, oh, I have to come and give you l'chaim. He says, Rebbe, it's okay. He says, no, I insist, I want to come to the apartment to give you l'chaim. The fellow knew how important every minute was to his Rebbe, but if his Rebbe insisted on coming, he was thrilled. And the next week, they made an appointment for a certain day, a certain time for Shlomo Zalman to come to have a l'chaim in his apartment. Sure enough, at precisely that time, there's a knock on the door. He opens up the door and there's his Rebbe of Shlomo Zalman Auerbach with a big smile to come inside to the house. The Talmud leads them to the dining room with a table laid with mezainis and l'chaim. And the Rebbe goes and they make a l'chaim. And he gives them a bracha on the house, on the apartment. And then if Shlomo Zalman says, could you show me around the house? Sure. And he starts to take him around the house. He looks to the kitchen. He starts looking around the kitchen and the cabinets. Then he takes him to the bedrooms. And he's looking around. He takes him to the porch. He takes him to everywhere in the apartment. The Talmud was getting a little uneasy as if his Rebbe was looking for something. And after a few minutes when Shlomo Zalman finished, he gives him a big smile. He gives him a big bracha. He should enjoy the house. So the Talmud's walking the Rebbe out. He says, Rebbe, I have to understand. Why did the Rebbe go look at every single part of the apartment? It's so not like you. So Shlomo Zalman looks at him and says, you know, people are very concerned about ayin hara. And rightfully so. We have to be very careful about an ayin hara. People look sometimes with a bad eye. And it's not good when that happens. But we know that a midah taiva is 500 times greater than a midah ra. Goodness is 500 times greater than bad. And therefore, someone can go and give someone an ayin hara. I can give an ayin taiva. And therefore, I wanted to spread my ayin taiva around your whole house. I am so happy for what you have. I wanted to go and look at every part of the house so I can give every part of your house an ayin taiva. And that's what Shlomo Zalman told him. And for him, it was worth it to use his precious time for that. But you see, it's important not just to not give an ayin ra, an ayin hara, but it's so important to give an ayin taiva. And that is perhaps one of the most important lessons Moshe Rabbeinu was teaching us before his death. Not so much the rebuke he was giving, but how to give that rebuke.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org